I'm here with someone who created the most valuable asset that has to do with this foundation, the creator of April Samuels. Well, 50% of the creator. This is Jan Samuels with Ron, mothered and fathered April Samuels. And hello. Thanks for taking time,
thank you so much, Dan. I'm glad to be here.
Great, and we are so glad to be a part of this. Now, you're on the board of directors, right?
Absolutely. We've supported April since way back, and this was just another thing.
What's it like watching the whole cycle of April going through the diagnosis, the surgery, the treatment, the recovery, to what we're doing today, basically less than 2 years later?
Well, of course, I think the key word is just absolutely amazing. When she was first diagnosed, she lived about an hour away from me, and so she called crying, and I couldn't be there for an hour. And those were the most agonizing 60 minutes I can ever tell you, trying to get down there to be with her.
Right.
And by the time I got there, she had settled down some.
Good.
And I think right from the very beginning, she said, okay, this is what I have. Now where do I go? What am I going to do with it? And how do I fight it? How's the best way to fight it?
Right.
And so after we found out what the doctor said, she was fighting it all the way.
Right. What words, as a mother of someone that went through this and was diagnosed, what words would you have for other parents that might be faced with, having to support something with their children so unexpected?
Right.
What can you offer them?
Well, I think anytime your children are hurting, even when they're little tiny and they fall and cut her elbow, you hurt for yourself and you hurt for them. And one of my mistakes was thinking how I would react if it was my diagnosis. And I thought I would be devastated, and I expected April to be devastated too, but she wasn't. And I think one of the hardest things is not to project the way I would feel onto her, because she's a totally different human being, and she just came through it with such flying colors that I was amazed.
That's awesome. That's just so incredible. And, meeting both Ron and yourself, it just instantly, I can see why April's who she is. I mean, you've been in the car when I have talked to April on road trips that she's been on between gigs, and you were traveling with her. And I got a sense of what you were like just from that,
Thank you very much. Well, you find out a lot of about people whenever they're riding in a car on a long trip, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time to join us on Drum Talk TV to talk about your perspective, your involvement, not only in the event,
yes,
but in how you dealt with being faced with what April was faced with as a child. And I think offering the information you did hopefully will help someone out there that is either dealing with it now or may have to deal with it in the future, because it is 1 out of 8 people are diagnosed.
Absolutely.
Which is an astounding number.
It's an astounding number, and we've got to do something about it, and that's what we're doing.
Exactly. Jan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, and stay with us here on this very special episode of Drum Talk TV at the April Samuels Breast Cancer Can Stick It Foundation event. Thank you.
Who wants to hear metal song? Who wants to hear metal song? All right, let's go! I'm a snake when red girls talk about social rhymes. That made a lesson classes and banks. I'm trying to save them in your eyes. All your life, all your past, when your dad goes out the way.
Hi, everybody. Dan Shinder with Drum Talk TV here
Hi,
at
Dan.
April. Hey, Jimmy, what's happening? Hey, Troy, what's going on, man? We are here at April Samuel's very special fundraising event for Breast Cancer Can Stick It. I thought it'd be fun for us to kind of sit here in the trailer and talk a little bit about the experience so far. I mean, we're not going on stage for a little while. We're not playing till a little bit later, but you've both had a chance to hang out and meet some of the people involved with this. And I want to thank you both coming so far. You both came from LA to be here. I flew in from Vegas. We all flew in today.
And we're in Texas, Corpus Christi.
Right, we're in Corpus. It'll be Corpus Crispy by the time we're all done with it, right?
It's going to be a very late evening. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with you, Troy, because you've got a very special foundation too. So I want to get your perspective from that direction. And of course, Jimmy, you'll absolutely weigh in. And we'll just kind of wrap about what's going on with this great sort of experience.
Well, what is the question?
Yeah, really, that was like so open-ended there.
And that's why I thought he'd jump all over it.
Yeah.
I have a foundation. What we do, it's pretty much about education, educating people about raw foods, taking disease and kind of fighting back and saying, no, this is not okay, because 1 out of every 2 people will be diagnosed, according to the National Cancer Institute. So,
and that's a ridiculous number.
Yeah. And I had no clue. And a friend of mine who I grew up with, his wife passed away last January, and that's kind of what got me started, because we were searching for information, and when you're desperate and you're trying to find information and you don't know where to go, so I thought, you know what, we need to start this website. And I just put a group of people together and started working on it. It's a work in progress. But it teaches people about alkalinity and pH and how disease cannot live in an alkaline body. So we're in the process of bringing a lot of information to the site.
That's great, and the numbers are astounding. Jimmy, and both of you were so quick to agree when I called you. In fact, when I was explaining it to Troy, I started to tell him about the event. And I started to tell him about it. He said, I'm there. And I'm like, well, let me tell you about it. He said, no, I'm there. He just wanted me to shut up and just move on to the next subject. That was really cool.
Well, yeah, and not to jump. The thing about it is I, too, put on events.
Yeah.
And I know how difficult it can be getting talent together, and I'm available. If I'm not working, I don't care who and where you are, I'll come.
That's really cool.
That's really kind of where I'm at. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we can't give enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what do you think about having met April finally and seeing her interview on our show? And
Before that, I just also want to say thank you for inviting me out, because this is really an amazing event. Just walking through the streets here and the energy level that's here is really quite amazing. And hopefully we'll be able to catch it out here.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, I'm such a huge fan of Troy's that we used to tour back in the day, and I hadn't seen him in a lot of years. So, a part of this process is getting to see some old friends and being able to share this experience. It's, to me, the human experience is such a, people are living on the internet so much, and of course this will be on the internet, and I'm not making fun of it, but I just feel like we need to start coming together more in this type of fashion. Yeah. People getting together
in a physical way.
In a physical way, absolutely.
Yeah. So we were talking about that, about how music is made now too. You guys were talking about that.
And that's why, we're talking about that. We're recording in rooms together with bands and writing in rooms together with bands, and we're feeling the music the way we did when we were younger. And I think people will feel that as well when they listen to it. Right. Now, meeting April was amazing. After I'd heard her story and you had sent me the links and stuff, you have a natural fondness and admiration for anybody who can get through something of that nature. I mean, I have a bad stomach ache and I'm in bed for the day. So I mean, what I mean?
It does put things in perspective.
I stubbed my toe and I'm belly aching all day. So
the
fact that this woman has done what she has done is just a testament to who she is, and I'm glad to be a part of this thing. And hopefully, and I know that this will get bigger. Troy said earlier, this is just the beginning, and I thought that was a great thing, because we want to be a part of this even as it grows, and I want to be a part of Troy's foundation as it grows, and just to be a part of, like I said, the human experience of helping other humans to better themselves and become more aware of what we should be doing in order to be healthy. I like that.
That's great, and I think partly to both of you and to everyone out there, what's really remarkable to me is that April just went through all this treatment and her surgery and getting a punctured lung in the process of the treatment like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This all really just happened, and here she is putting on events, and she started this foundation. It's more
She was
than
sound
underway.
checking, bashing right now. It's sound check. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
wait till you see her play.
Well, I saw
Yeah.
a little bit, so I'm excited.
There's a little surprise for her drum solo.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
you got to be out there when you
We're
see her
here
drum solo.
for we'll be the last ones. We'll be sweeping up at the end.
Now let's go back. Let's talk about music. Oops, sorry. Let's talk about music a little bit. Being that this is Drum Talk TV and we are drummers. As we mentioned, you guys were talking about how there's so many things that are done without rehearsing in person, without sort of molding and blending the chemistry of the personalities and the artistic abilities of everybody. Yet when you do that, you notice a big difference in the outcome of the project and the material, don't you?
Absolutely. Go ahead. You want to take that first?
Well, because there's so much wonderful, great technology out there today, we can send files.
Yeah.
And there's a beauty in that. I mean, there's records and things that are happening, but there's also something that's lost in that,
Yeah.
process. So I'm in Nashville now, where people get together and play and record, live, and it's quite exciting being in that environment. And I do sides on both sides of it. I mean, I'll do tracks for people. People can send me stuff. I can do some tracks, or I can jump in and get in a room. If I'm going to be at the head of it and I'm producing, I'm going to try to pull it together in that fashion because I like the old school stuff. I like getting in a room together and kind of seeing where the song goes and how I'm inspired by the vocalist or the guitar line or whatever.
And let it
might
be driven a bit by
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah,
you know?
as it is, and that's what music always was. And when we got together as kids, man, we weren't sending files.
No, that's right.
No,
That's
you're
right.
yelling at each other across the garage.
Yeah, we were talking about Black Sabbath. I mean, that first Black Sabbath record was recorded in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're not, like he said, we're not, because we have Pro Tools in our studios. It's not about dissing or saying that's bad. What we're saying is that, musicians should experience that. They should go back and see, because sometimes it works better that way. Some days, he might get a session from a cat in New York and he's where he's at and he can't get there. Send me the
Right.
files. I'll help you to get this song and this idea done. In that sense, it's great. But for bands, I think in general, like an entire band who's a real outfit, the Black Crowes, anybody, Van Halen, I think those guys, that's how they did it. That's how the bands I love growing up, from Cheap Trick.
The chemistry of their personality is in the music.
Absolutely.
It's in the
Because
album.
you
Yeah.
can hear everybody exhaling at the same time and holding their
Yeah.
breath at the same time, pulling a beat back or something.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I still love, and I think it's important that younger kids understand that that's really, you should try that.
How music is made.
Yeah, it's really a fun process to look at somebody when they hit a bad note, but it's actually a great note.
Yeah.
Because then they go, oh my God, that was a cool accident. And
Right.
then, no, now it's a new riff on the song.
Yeah.
Now we go to F sharp instead of G. It's a really cool thing to happen.
An extreme example, to a point, might be a concert band or a symphony orchestra, a symphony band, or a marching band even, because where it doesn't have so much to do with personalities, it's almost like there's a telepathy that happens amongst 30, 50, 70 musicians, and you've played in that environment where the whole thing becomes like an organism and everyone's literally on the same page. So that's sort of an extreme example in a different way, minus the personalities.
Right.
I don't know if I'd want to deal with 69 other personalities in an orchestra, but
That's not
I mean,
fun.
does that make sense? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, thanks for checking in, and we're checking in with you. We're going to check in with you some more during this event, and you'll get to see Jimmy Bashaway. You'll get to see Troy play as well, and we'll get with you both on stage.
And I just want to come back
Sure.
to why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
For April and meeting her, and just what I've learned in the last 2 hours. She has put this whole event together, and if you could pop that shade up,
Let's take a look.
I mean, if you could, you might be able to see what's going on back here.
Okay.
We're trying.
edit this.
We're really trying.
I really don't know how to
Here, watch this. Watch this. Ow.
Maybe not. Oh, there it goes.
Whoa! And by the way, this is Roar by the Shore. There's 10,000 bikers in town, and I'm wearing pink pants tonight.
Yes.
If you can see the stage behind me,
Can I see that?
and there's 2 kids, and we're all going to play tonight. And
one
but the
of them-
thing about it is an event like this takes a lot of work, and I put events on myself. So I just want to say, April, fantastic job. We are so happy to be here.
Absolutely.
And we know why we're here, and we're going to support you through this cause, not just today, but tomorrow and every day.
And absolutely, and everybody that's watching this can do the same thing. Just because you couldn't be here in Corpus Christi, which, like I said, it'll be Corpus Crispy by the time we're done with it. Just because you couldn't be here doesn't mean you can't support her foundation and raising money for breast cancer research and to find a cure. Go to www.breastcancercanstickit.org. It's right here on the screen, and you'll learn how you can support and make a donation and be a part of this, because this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And thank you both so much for
Thank
being a
you,
part of
man.
this.
Thank you as well.
And stay tuned. We're going to rock out in a minute. Over and out.
Please. My life is complete. Corpus Christi. Bar. You guys know what's up? Corpus Christi, do you know what's up? Smooth opinion. Holy shit, that was awesome! I bet you want to hear some Tesla right now, right? Make some noise, Corpus! be with us all night. Thanks so
Hey dude, listen, I got a friend here from Las Vegas.
You don't have any friends.
I just have the one friend.
You have one friend?
That's my one friend right
All
there.
the way from Las
Do you
Vegas?
know why he's my friend?
Since you paid him?
No.
No?
Because he wears plain, just pink pants, man.
Because he wears...
Check him out.
He's not wearing pink pants, dude. Stand up, dude.
Stand up.
Let's see those pink pants.
Look at this, man.
Hold on, man. Hold on a second, dude. They are way too baggy to be on this stage, dude. We need to suck the air of those things.
Michael Diamond, we're going to dunk him in water later, man. It'll be cool.
Who is this guy, Crash Gordon?
Dude, this is Dan Shinder of Drum Talk TV, all the way from Las Vegas, baby. Did you notice we didn't get on the mic? That was on purpose.
Are you guys ready? Come on, Corpus. We got famous people here. Crazy
Well, that was fun. You know, these events are all about raising money for Breast Cancer Can Stick It. We have raffles, there's a kissing booth, a merchandise booth. You'd be surprised how many creative ways you can come up with selling raffle tickets. An arm's length, a leg's length. We raffle off drum heads that have been signed by many of the Drum Talk TV artists that we get with during the course of the year. Just legendary artists that are willing to add their signature to the list to help raise money for great causes. And then, of course, you get to sit at the VIP booth and sign all kinds of merchandise for small donations for fans and get pictures taken with fans. Now let's spend some time with April Samuels. Hey, Dan Shinder, Drum Talk TV, special episode dropping into you with April Samuels here in the green room at your big special event.
I know.
How are you?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you're here for it too.
This is the first time we've ever met in person, and I guess I could say this. I'm pretty open on my show. I mean,
I've noticed this.
okay. April and I have become very good friends. We chat all the time on the phone, on Skype, on text. We've texted while we're on Skype. I mean,
Oh yeah, we've done a lot of we're on a phone while we're on Skype and
And maybe you've met somebody like this where because of distance you don't get to meet them in person, and it's not till you meet them in person till you realize, well, I've never met you before in person. You know, so today's been a real special day. Not only the element of us meeting in person, but you've spent some time with Troy and Jimmy today, which is cool.
It's been so cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I've gotten to spend a lot of time with your mom, which is great.
Yes, I've heard about this. I'll be talking to you about that later. No.
And your dad, I mean, such wonderful parents. First, I want to ask you at this big, great event, what is it that you think of when you realize what a short time it's been going from diagnosis to the procedures to recovery to deciding to do Breast Cancer Can Stick It.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we're doing this event. And I know you've done other events, but this is a biggie.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so much fun. You know, I came up with Breast Cancer Can Stick It like 2 or 3 weeks after I was diagnosed, because I'm a drummer, and I just felt the urge to do something, if not just to find somewhere a positive outlet,
Because you had a lot of energy. I mean, people deal with things differently, but something negative can create a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So you have a choice. Is it negative energy that you're going to spiral out of control and maybe do some bad things to yourself or whatever? Or maybe it's just going to be bad neutral energy and you just stagnate and you
Right.
never move forward
Right.
or backwards. Or you can do what you did and create something that so many people are now becoming a part of, and what you're doing is helping so many people, which
Yeah.
is great.
No, it's been really incredible. I mean, I just feel so blessed to be here today. It's funny that you asked. I was sitting there thinking earlier, I was like, wow, when I was diagnosed, did I ever really think that I would take it this far? Because I knew what I wanted to do. Like, I immediately was like, I want to be this huge advocate, in the fight against breast cancer. I want to make a lot of noise. I'm a drummer. I like to make a lot of noise,
Yeah.
And so, and I had a vision for it. And, sometimes you have those visions and they just kind of fizzle. It's like this big bang at the beginning.
Right.
And then it just kind of fizzles out. But it stuck with me the whole time. And, really, honestly, I'm just going to say it, a lot of it is thanks to Drum Talk TV. I mean, you guys have really supported us so much. And, I mean, there's a lot of things that we couldn't have done without you guys.
Wow, that's really
And,
sweet.
well, I mean, you said all this stuff about us being friends and everything, and it's true. And you guys have just been really supportive. And it's people like you and all those people out there running around right now, all these really genuinely wonderful people who are really behind this cause, just really getting into it and getting busy with it and having fun and raising a crap ton of money.
Yeah, which is great.
Right.
Which is great. So that people know, because right now on your screen again is the web address for breastcancercanstickit.org, where you can contribute. The contributions can go on forever. Just because you couldn't make this event doesn't mean you can't be a part of this. But explain to people. An angel was in the room. Explain with pink hair. Explain to people what happens with the funds so that they know and feel comfortable. Because we get hit up for so many things in life, to donate here, donate there.
Right.
I think people should know.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, our goal with Breast Cancer Can Stick It is similar to other similar organizations. The main difference is that it's a music-minded foundation. But we are giving money to research, clinical trials, to other similar organizations that are giving to the same types of things, that are also giving to patients who maybe can't afford treatments, or to people who can't afford mammograms, just different things like that. Right. So it's the full realm of coverage there. And the other thing is we're helping make people aware so that they can protect themselves, make sure that they can avoid getting cancer, or if they do get cancer, that it's found at the earliest stage possible.
Right.
So
it's easier to combat.
Yeah, exactly. And we're finding that a lot of people don't realize that there are a lot of risk factors out there, and maybe you're under 40 and mammograms aren't really, something that they start doing yet. But you have all these risk factors that you weren't aware of, and maybe you could have been getting checked earlier.
Right. And why is the benchmark 40? That sounds...
Yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but that sounds so old for
I
something
know,
so
right?
important.
Yeah, no, it's true.
What's up with that? Why not 20?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's just a lot more common. The older you get, the more likely, or the higher risk of breast cancer. But I mean, it's more common at 50 and above. Below 50, it's really not as common. Right. So that's why they start at 40. But more recently, like myself, there's been a lot of women who do get breast cancer at an earlier age, especially the aggressive form that I had, which was triple negative breast cancer. Right. And the thing is I found that I had a lot of risk factors that might have stood out a little bit more. My case was a little different because I had fibrocystic breasts and dense breasts, and so my doctor had already directed that I start getting tested every 6 months anyway. So I had been getting tested for 7 years, a lot earlier than 40, because what am I, like
23.
23. So you had you had warning signs.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
everyone's going to get
well,
those warning
yeah,
signs,
I mean,
and I think that puts them at risk,
well,
especially if they're going to wait till 40.
Right, and actually, fibrocystic breasts aren't actually a risk for breast cancer. It's dense breasts that are a risk for breast cancer, and it makes it harder to find any kind of tumors or anything if you have fibrocystic breasts and dense breasts. So my doctor was great, and he suggested doing that. But there are other risk factors too, like if you're in your 30s and you haven't had kids before, obviously for smoke, or if you're overweight, things like that. Family history, if you have the BRCA 1 or 2 gene, if you have either one of those, your chances are a lot higher.
How does someone find out if they have that gene? Is it a blood test? Or?
Yeah, it's a genetic test that they do. It's a blood test, and they go through. And I actually had it done. I don't have that gene, but if you're tested positive for it, then your chances are a lot greater for getting breast cancer. Which the Angelina Jolie story you probably heard about. But if you go and you find out all of your different risks, for breast cancer, and you find that you have a lot of risks, then go to your doctor. Tell them that you have a lot of risks.
Right.
And then there's a good chance that they will go ahead and start doing testing for you. And then if you are to develop cancer, you'll find it much sooner.
Right.
So that's one of the big things I want to say. I'm just kind of rambling on.
No, you're not rambling at all. This is extremely not only helpful information, but it's very pertinent to what's happening today.
Yeah.
It's very pertinent to what your foundation does. And most importantly, it's very pertinent to everybody's health out there. And men can get breast cancer
That's right,
too.
and
Peter Criss is a breast cancer survivor.
That's
so,
right. That's right.
don't be fooled by stereotyping something yourself. But this is a great event. I mean, there's tons of people out here.
There are.
When you told me on the phone that 10,000 bikers are
I
going to
know,
empty
dude,
out
you didn't
into the
believe it, and
venue,
you look out
I'm
there,
like,
it's like,
what?
I know, it's like, hey, was that a motorcycle? I don't know. It's like tons of motorcycles going by.
And when I was eating with Troy and Jimmy, we were looking out the window of the trailer, and Jimmy said, "This is very reminiscent of Sturgis. It looks like Sturgis out
Right?
here." And it does. We're in Corpus Christi.
Crispy. Well,
I keep
maybe
saying
in the
that.
heat of the summer.
Well, or by the time we're done with all the sets of music you're going to play and selling all the raffle tickets and burning all that up, and we're getting mooned by a band member, which is great.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, what
This
makes
is
that
so
so cool? No, but.
Yeah, he's totally
But
mooning us.
what makes it so cool is that because this is rock and roll and music based, like you said, you're reaching, I think, a whole new audience and a whole new layer of people that need to be aware of this.
Absolutely.
That normally aren't reached through traditional
exactly.
functioning foundations, if I could put it that way. I hope that doesn't offend anybody.
This isn't a traditional, organization. This is a very loud, and lively group, and we're going to make some noise, and we're going to make some money, and we're going to do everything we can to fight this. I mean, I really think we can make an impact.
Absolutely. Can I tell you a secret real quick?
Tell me your secret.
About my jeans?
These ones?
Yeah. I'm wearing pink jeans. I can't tell anybody.
Okay. I won't tell anyone you're wearing pink jeans.
Oh. So
Anyway,
anyhow, so let's get back to some of this great event, the gig, and thanks for supporting Breast Cancer Can Stick It, and thanks for watching Drum Talk TV. Thanks. This is gonna rock.
Good, man.
This Breast Cancer Can Stick It special on Drum Talk TV with April Samuels just would not be complete without a drum solo by April Samuels as Crash Gordon.
We want to apologize to Troy Luccketta from Tesla. There's no drum solos in the show, dude.
Dude, Troy will totally like this. It'll be fun.
Totally not.
Hey, Troy, this is a fun. Alright, it's gonna be cool, don't worry.
Is Jimmy down there too, dude?
Yeah, he's right there. I've had a lot of practice with these. It hurts really bad. Don't try this at home.
I see big one crash, Gordon.
You need more cowbell?
No, more cowbell. More drum solo. Don't get tired on me.